Okay, this is a 2006 Chrysler 300. It's the door panel removal to remove the driver's side door opener. So basically it has screws on the door panel on the bottom here. So you got to take out these screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one there, and there's one there. So you got to take those out. Now these have the one-way poppers, which you'll see on your door that those are in there. You have to take a screwdriver and jam those all the way through. Now they're down in here, and they will come out, but you have to find the hole. Can't see that. There's the hole underneath the piece of thing, and look at there, magically one fell out. Now those are all in there, so you got to dig them all out. Now to get this off, there's 2 screws on the back that are in here and 1 screw right there. The only problem is the glass is stopping you from getting to those. There, you just take a socket, it's a number 9, and you put it on an extension. Let me put my phone down. Okay, I did some damage to this thing trying to get this off. I could leave it alone because all you have to do is take off this little plastic strip, pull that off of there, and that gives you access to the 2 bolts that are up inside of that. You will have to get that piece loose right there. You'll have to take a screwdriver. So okay, I don't know if you can get it through that hole, but if you have to peel that off a little bit, just use a big screwdriver and reach up in there and pop that off that piece of metal. You'll see it up in there, a metal bar. So you'll have to stick it in there and take your screwdriver and get on the edge and push that off the metal. Now this other screw that's holding on this piece that breaks off on all these door panels, something like that. Anyway, that's up inside the door. That's tougher. You have to use short. Take this off. And let's, drop my phone. Sorry about that. Second screw, which is that, you're going to need a shorty. And you're going to have to go through this hole in the bottom. You're going to have a long skinny arm, or get a kid, reach up in there, and you just have to stick your arm all the way up in there like that. There's plenty of room. And then your arm's going to be up inside at the top, and you're going to be unscrewing that screw up inside about right there. It's not real hard to reach, but it's doable, pretty easy. I just hate ruining this. Thing's an 06, so it ruined it like a hard-boiled egg. And the other thing that's pretty important is to get this out of the hole. You have to fight that in there a little bit, but this has to be in the out position. So you have to, if you pull the door handle, that retracts that. So if you retract that like that, then it fits up inside of there to come in and out. I fought it coming out, but it didn't need to. If you just pull the door handle out, then you won't be fighting this nugget. Okay, I'm going to put it back in. If I see any problems, then I will videotape again. One more step is all these have a specific button depending on what you got on your window. That's a button there, a button there to press. This one had a lift off on the door, so there's nothing to press here. You had to lift up on the little tabby. This one had another button, and the worst one was this little clear one. It has a button there that I had to press. This one was the hardest one. You have to press this little button in and pull it out. So that one's the trickiest. It's on the clear one for the light under the door. Okay, that's it. Another quick item, you're gonna have to pull these out and put them back in here because they're not going to slide up in there. You push them in, so you're gonna have to take a big screwdriver and get those out of there, like 2 screwdrivers together. But you got to pull these out, put them back in the door. The trick to getting these 2 buttons out, you have to lift up here, slide your screwdriver underneath, and then put both screwdrivers. So let me set it up so I can show you. Alright, that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have to pry up on the outside, slide your little one in, slide your other one in, and then wear your stinking safety glasses because these come out like bullets. So don't stand right in front of it and look at it because it's going to pop, and pull on it with your 2 screwdrivers. Use 2 hands and pull that out, and boy, when it comes out, it pops out. More quick thing, just use a screwdriver, stick your hand up in here, take your screwdriver, put your hand down in there. That's what you're going to need, is a little screwdriver to push to this little hole. Oop, see, they're magically falling out. And they will all fall out of that hole that's right in there. And then to get these out, you're going to have to do the same thing. There's a hole right here. So you're going to have to push, you're going to have to stick your hand and screwdriver or something to get that to that hole and push them out. So basically, I have all my things over here. I have 2 missing, 2 for the handle. Got the screws, the 2 poppers, and basically that's all there is to the hardware to get this out. But we need to get those 2 out of the front, and then we'll have all of our hardware. Okay, you might be asking why I have 2 of them here. This is the one that I ordered for my wife's car, and that one says 12/20/16. So I ordered that one. They're like 20 bucks or something for her 2010. She has the same problem. This one is for the 06 that I bought, and it came with one of these already free. And the thing that I noticed was same manufacturer. That's just go on eBay, just order them. Don't specifically know the part number. It's not that important. Just go in and look for Chrysler 300s. They're all the same door handle, driver's side, and you'll know it's the driver's side because it's got the little hole in it for the key. Okay. Okay, get this in there. You gotta hook that in there first. Bring it down. And you have to retract that thing like I was talking about. Get that in there. Now, from there, it should go straight in there. Once I take this thing and set the button in there like that, and there you go. Pretty easy. Did it with one hand, so I know you can do it with 2. And then put the screws back in the hole, in that hole with the 2 screws, which are, all 3 of them are the same, so you can't mess that up. I'm going to put a tiny bit of lube on them. So you're going to put your 2 there, then you have to reach your hand up inside with the shorty and the longie for those 2, and the shorty for that one, and screw it all back together. Okay, I've already put those 2 in here, but you're going to have to use your doctor skills. the game, and you're gonna have to put that up in there. It won't fall out, and stab it in the hole, and then get it started. It'll go in there. It won't fall out. The holes you're aiming for are these two holes. So that's what you're aiming for. Same with this one. But you're not going to be able to reach up in there. So you have to put this one up in there by hand. So basically you're going to have to take this screw and reach up in there and screw it in that to that, hand tight, and then take your shorty and tighten it up. Okay, that right there was one of the hardest things to reattach, was the green thing, because it's in the shape of an L. So I can't really point my finger in there, but to the left. So you have to push the green thing back, slide it to the left into the pointy part right there, and then clip that thing back on there. So when I go to do my wife's car, I'll try to get a better picture of that. But that was the hardest thing to put back so far. And that's the piece, the door, the lever part. That's what's connected to the lever to open up this catch. Okay, good luck. Alright, this is a picture of the door panel going back on. You didn't see this coming off. This is going to have to be carefully put back on there, so you're going to have to hook that onto that last. This is exactly like the other piece that was so hard. This has to go down in that hole and then clipped over. So you got to start with it out of the way, push it in, and then clip it back. So basically, I want to hook up all my wiring, then clip this. Oh, we got to put all these back. Nope, they go from the outside. So that all the clips go from the outside. We do have to put some bad videoing, but oh well. These got to go back in here. That's why those have to come out, because you'll never clip those back in there with those in the thing. Maybe you could. Maybe they'd slide down in there, but it would be hard as hell. So let's see if we can hook up the electrical, push those back in there. We got one popped in there, screw, so let's try it. Alright, now I just have the door hanging. I clipped that thing back on, ran that up through there, and pushed those 3 poppers on. Now it's time to turn your key on, make sure all this stuff works before... Make sure all this stuff works. Looks like the mirror's working. Don't know if it will let us lock and unlock. That's unlock. Okay. That's unlock. That's lock. Let's try it. Lock. That's weird. Unlock. That opens. So, let's see if this little light under here is working. So we got a light under there. That's working. So I have the seat controller for 1 and 2, which don't. So that's working the seat. Good enough for me. Whoa! Seat's going crazy. Oh. See, it's going crazy anyways. Alright. Real easy. Just get them centered in there. And these things, you just want to push them. Okay, they're not easy, but you just want to do them flush. If you push them all the way in there, then they're going to fall back down in there. You have to take the whole thing out to get them out. Okay, this is a 06 Chrysler 300. We replaced the classic broken one on the front. I did a video on the rear, but I hadn't seen any videos on the front. So basically just watch the whole thing, because some of the hardest things to do was to put the connector for that thing back on inside the thing, and that's at the very end of the video, and that's basically what it looks like finished, all put back together. Okay, the other thing that I forgot to put back on the other car was this keeper. It's right there, and it's pretty hard to get off. You have to use a flathead screwdriver to pry and jiggle that thing out of there. Pretty tough. So you don't have to remove these top two. All you gotta do is remove the bottom ones. You don't have to remove that either. You want to leave the window up, not down, and you're gonna have to take off that little piece of plastic to get to those two screws. Another hard candy coating thing, and we're gonna have to get up in here. I have to peel this away and get that loose so you can get your hand up in there to undo the other screws. Also notice when I took this out, there is a little one-way keeper, right? Can't do it with one hand, but anyway, there's a little plastic piece right in the center of the screen. That little tabby is hooking on the door, but don't forget to pull this door handle out before you pull that out, and then that part's still stuck in there, so you have to unscrew it from behind. There's a good one. Now I've closed the door with no way to open it, so hopefully the door's unlocked so I can go around. That would be a stinker, wouldn't it? So luckily the back door was unlocked. You're gonna have to come in here and pull this lever forward and push the door open. Okay, this is the 06 model, and it's kind of hard to see, but I've got my arm up inside and my tool up in there. This one, there's a little more access on the 010 instead of 06, but you just have to keep working that screw out of there. Tough, but got to do it. Can't be scared to stick your hand up in there to fish out the parts, but you can stick your arm all the way up in there and reach all the way forward. On this back one, you can't reach past that bar, so you have to get you a long screwdriver. I'm still missing a screw, so we're gonna have to find that sucker. Could have fallen, caught, could have got hung up on this bar, behind the bar, top of the bar. So we're missing a screw that fell out up here. Could be up here. Alright, that's the second place. It looks like you can stick your arm down in that hole. Alright, I'm gonna have to, we got missing a screw. We got a screw for that one, missing a screw for that one, and cap, nut, all those screws. So we're missing one screw. I'm gonna have to dig till I find it. One got hung up right there on that bar. You gotta dig in there until you get them screws, because they don't come out. The only hole that they can possibly come out of is up underneath there. There's a hole that can go up in there. So you can fish them out through the bottom. There is that one-way plastic piece that usually snaps off when you go to get it out. So again, hook that in there, get your finger in there, put that in there, pull the handle out so that trigger will go up in there. Feed both of those in there. Feed that through the hole, and you got it. Another thing I see the second time, this thing's gonna go on the outside, not on the inside, so make sure that it stays out. And goes through the hole. But that has to stay out here. Don't let that get on the inside. Okay, I think there's more room on this one, and the little green, there it is, was much easier to do on this one. I don't know why it was like more room to get your hand or something up in here, and I guess maybe I've done it once and knew what I was doing, so that was a lot easier. Now this door's just hanging, but what you want to do, hook up the electrical first, then hook this pin and put that up through there, get that up in there, and then pop these three back into their holes. Once those three are holding it, then you can put the rest of the screws back in. Pretty simple. Now before you put all your screws back in, make sure all this stuff works before you go screwing everything together and have to undo it all again. Alright, here's the other one fixed. All installed, all put back together. So I did this one and that one. Second one was easier, but it had some other difficulties. And I think I did them maybe an hour a piece, if that long, just because I was videoing. There you go.